What up, y'all? It's your boy JoeSimmer, and check it out, man. In today's video, guys, we're fixing to go over $1.32, all right, or $3.226. Okay, this is gonna be the dollar ebook. All right, so y'all are fixing to get some of the best plays, man, in Madden in the game. And I'm gonna show you some of the things I do, and also I talked to DEZ. Okay, so DEZ actually gave me some insight to dollar, which I will give to you. Okay, later on in the video. But if you don't know who DEZ is the new Madden MCS champ. Okay, so he won the tournament. He beat Clef, and he's a belt winner now. So, yeah, so that was real cool for him. You know, after I reached out for him to respond, and so he gave me some pretty good insight, some things that you know, I didn't think would really work, but he does. So now, I mean, even I'm mind blown. I'm like, wow, okay, I didn't know that. But without further ado, man, let's just go ahead and hop into it, and let me show you just some of the best plays to start. You know, start to run dollar, basically. If you're going to try to start running dollar, then these are the plays you need to have in your audibles. All right, so let's talk audibles real quick, man. Audibles that you probably need in your dollar is probably going to be, you know, you need a cover two. I mean, cover two man. Okay, you need a cover two. DB Fire. Okay, DB Fire is probably the best play in dollar. Well, hands down, the best play in dollar. Cover four, okay, for all you cover four guys. I run cover four almost every play and nickel over. And so cover four is really good in dollar as well. Okay, but once you get past, you know, the opponent's 40, 30-yard line and it gets to the red zone, cover four and dollar is not really the move, in my opinion. Okay, you're better off just sticking with DB Fire and trying to get pressure in there. Okay. So, as well as cover three cloud show two. This play is really good if you have your zone drops correct. Okay, if your zone drops are correct, you see how in this play there are three hooks. So there are three hook zones. And if you have those hook zones to 5 or 10, it just plays the middle of the field so much better. Okay, so I usually run cover three cloud show two when I'm trying to play more coverage and there's not a lot of time on the clock. It definitely bags almost anything. So it's a really, really good play to run. Okay, so that's that. Now, pro tip, you always want dollar set to base, okay? You always want dollar set to base. And what DEZ was doing is he was telling me that he keeps it off. So it's, at least from what I saw as well, is he just keeps this off. The reason being is because your corners won't, you know, man up to the wrong person or move in a certain way. Okay, so if you have it off and you have it to base, that's what you want when you're in dollar. Okay, doesn't matter what play, you always want to have it to base. Okay, always. Now having the on or off thing, he has it off, and he's Madden champ. So guess what we're gonna do? We're gonna have it off. Okay, so that's just how we're gonna do it. And as well as down here, the zone drops, okay? DEZ was saying that he never really uses zone drops. He usually just adjusts out of DB Fire 2, okay, as we're going to see here. All right, so we're in DB Fire 2, right? So the first setup in DB Fire is you're going to press, and then you're going to bring these safeties down in the box, okay? So that's the first thing you do. Every single play, okay, that's what DEZ was saying he does, is he brings those safeties down. And you can even watch, guys, if you want to learn how to run someone's defense and how to run like a pro Madden scheme, you got to watch the MCS tournaments, man, and watch how those guys play. Now, but yeah, he was saying he brings these safeties down every single play, okay? Every single play, he brings these guys down in the box, okay? You don't have to bring them all the way down here, okay? I mean, but they usually start off right here, so you just want to bring them down a little bit, okay? They're going to play a lot more aggressive. This guy right here, the strong safety, if the slot guy is on a, you know, a streak route or whatever, okay, the safety is going to play that a lot better than being back here, okay? So he's not going to drop back here. You know, if you bring him down the box a little bit, they're not going to be able to really, you know, quick hike the seam streak route, okay? And so after you do that, like I said, you're going to press, okay? So you're going to bring the safeties down, you're going to press, okay? Then after that, you start adjusting, okay? So let's talk zones and let's talk where to use her and stuff like that, especially against bunch. Okay, you get a lot of bunch guys, you get a lot of tight guys. Okay, the way I see it is this: there's one receiver on the left side. Okay, so since there's one receiver on the left side, I want to blitz this corner because if I just have him in a zone, okay, or if I have him, you know, in a zone like this or something like that, it's really pointless because I need to be getting pressure in there, especially in this year's Madden. So I'm cool with leaving homeboy by himself over there. So what I could do is I can man him up. Okay, so you can man him up. You can have a soft squad out there. Okay, now there's a difference between a cloud flat and a soft squad. Also, guys, I didn't want to interrupt the video, but I just wanted to let you know, guys, that a lot of you guys are not subscribed, man. So definitely, if you like what you see and you love the information that I'm giving you and the way that I take time to try to explain as best as I can, give you different scenarios, all that stuff, gotta hit the subscribe button, guys. Gotta hit the subscribe button. Gotta drop a like. Let me know that you fucking with the content heavy, and I will continue to drop stuff like this, especially an in-depth, you know, inside the mind kind of thing, you know what I mean? So, but I appreciate you guys, man. All right, let's hop back into the video. Okay, so a cloud flat, what's a cloud flat gonna do? All right, a cloud flat is going to hover in the area, okay? So let's say homeboy is on, let's say that receiver London is on a streak route, okay? The cloud flat, what the cloud flat is gonna do is a cloud flat is just gonna kind of hover in this area, and he's only gonna hover in that area for the moment, okay? So if you have a 20 zone drop, he'll hover, boom, until 20 yards, and then he's done. He's going to stop hovering, okay? So that's what a cloud flat is going to do, is it's just going to hover in the area. So if you have it to 10, okay, I'll hover till the 10-yard line, and then it stops. So it'll just keep hovering in that area. Now, what a soft squat is going to do, okay, so a soft squat is going to hover in the area, and if it's a streak route, it's going to follow the streak route, okay? So that's what that's going to do, okay? So the soft squat is going to hover, and then boom, and then he's going to take off with the streak route, okay? So those are the difference. That's the difference between the zones. Now, from my experience, okay, soft squat only works on single side receiver, okay? So as you see, the left side, London, he is on the single side. He's an individual receiver left out on an island on his own. And that is, from my experience, like I said, that's the only time I've ever really seen a soft squat work. Okay, to where he'll follow the streak route is if it's on an individual receiver. Now, on this side, since we do have a soft squat here, I don't know. Okay, I don't know if it does the same thing. Okay, so what I'll do is, you know, maybe have a cloud flat over here instead. Okay, either that or I'll put him in a deep zone. Okay, and then I could just make some crazy adjustments. You know, I could do something like this. It really just depends. This is not a defense I would recommend, but I'm just giving you guys an example. Okay, so that's just a little brief preview over the zones. Okay, so like I said, you want to come in here, boom, boom. You want to bring those guys down in the box first. Okay. Then you can start making adjustments out of this. Now, what I was seeing DEZ do a lot is he was using, it just kind of really depends, but you can also, you know, you can use her same side as a running back. Okay, the reason why you would want to do that, why you would want to use her the running back is because you're blitzing this slot receiver, okay? And what they like to do is check down. So if I'm using Campbell right here, let's say I have a safety right here, okay? Let's say I have, it doesn't matter, Campbell, right? Let's say I'm using Campbell, right? And I'm using all this down here. I'm using the tight end, this and that. They're always going to try to dump down to the running back. So that's one of the issues, right, that you're going to run into is you're most likely going to have to use the running back. Otherwise, everyone's first read is going to be the running back, okay? So you're definitely going to want to do that, and you don't want to pull off that corner on the blitz. You definitely want him blitzing every time, okay? So that's what I would do is I would use her same side running back, okay? I would leave the soft squat there. What you can do is you can back up this guy, and you can have him in a hard flat, okay? So this is to trick the defense, all right? So that's something that I like to do is, you know, my opponent thinks that I'm backing him up, right? Now, to back him up like that is I press Y, okay, individual, B, because you have to click the outside receiver. Okay, now I'm going to press him. Okay, so I hit down. So let's do this together, right? So Y, all right, and then individual, and I hit B. Like I said, to adjust the outside corner and to make him, you know, to push him back a little bit, you have to pick the outside receiver. So I hit B, and then I hit up on the right pad. Boom. Okay, now he's going to shift up. Okay, so now he's playing off coverage, but I have him in a hard flat. So what's going to happen is I'm kind of baiting the opponent in a way, right? So it looks like I'm backing him off, and then when they try to dump it down to like an out route or something, he's probably going to jump that. So let's see here, right? So let's say I have an out route on Hodge, okay? So here's this right here. I throw it to Hodge, and it's an interception, okay? So that's one of the things, you know, that you kind of want to look for. You know, like I said, it's like a chess game, and that's kind of, you know, one of the things that I'll do is I'll back him up, I'll press, right? I'll back him up, right? And it looks like I'm backing him off, but really I have him in a hard flat, okay? So that way when they throw that, easy pick six. So that was a lot to go over, but I just wanted to show you, I wanted to explain, you know, just some of the zones and just some of the things that I've learned, okay? Now let's run this in real time, okay? So press, bring these guys down in the box, right? And then you can back up if you want. You don't have to back them up, you know what I mean? I can press them again, but this is how the coverage is gonna look, and then you just kind of take the running back, and it's just easy money. I mean, those corners are just gonna fly in there each time. Okay, they're just, I mean, they're gonna shoot in there. You know what I mean? Here's this again, right? You bring these guys down in the box real quick. All right. You could probably man up, you know, the tight end. Okay, so it looks something like this. All right, you come over here, right? Kind of hover in the area, shoot this over here. I mean, he has only a few seconds to make a read, and that's how it is online. Especially if you're playing all Madden, those guys are just gonna fly by in there. Like I said, after you bring these guys down the box, you know, let's say you want to switch it up a little bit, okay, then you can man up the left side guy, okay? So to man up, you know, anybody, right, you hit triangle, okay, you go to quick adjust, you got to hit the receiver, okay? So the receiver, the left receiver is X in this, right, in this case, and then it says assignments. So up would be man coverage, right, you know what I mean? If I put them on a deep half or something like that, right? You can just do so much out of this, right? You can do a cloud flat, you can do a hard flat. So if you guys are new to Madden, you got to really learn that, all right? But I'll, you know, manning up that guy right here. Let's say you don't want to use the running back. You can move this guy kind of to the outside a little bit, man him up on the running back. Same thing, all right? Let's say you want to play more coverage. You could have a hook, a vert hook on that slot corner, okay? So my recommendation is you always want to blitz at least one corner, okay? So if you're not going to blitz Y, you want to blitz A, okay? But in this case, having a vert hook on a single side receiver is kind of pointless. Like I said, you got to trust your defense. You have to trust your defense. Yeah, I got the running back manned up. No biggie, no problem, okay? So I'm just going to flip it. All right, and then I'm going to run something like this, okay? You know, I could also, let's say there's a corner. There's a constant corner route. Okay, I'm going to man up the slot guy with the corner route, okay? And then I'll man up the outside receiver, okay? So then it's going to look like this. Now everybody's manned up. Okay, so once you get really good at your adjustments and you get really quick, really fast with it, then you can do all sorts of stuff out of DB fire. You know, you can mix in the zone with the blitz, okay, and stuff like that. Okay, and then my job is a tight end. So everybody's basically manned up, and I still got, you know, homeboy blitzing right there. So look at that. So let's say, you know, I was running, you know, cover two, and then boom, I make my adjustments real quick. So let's try to do this in real time. Okay, so I press. Right, bring these guys down in the box. Shade outside, pass commit, boom, and then I'm right there. Okay, the only thing I didn't do was man up the running back. But it, you know, it'll take you 5 seconds or so to set it up once you get pretty fast. Okay, maybe even sooner. These guys can do it in like 3 seconds, which is crazy. All right. If you want to take a little bit of a gamble, go ahead and blitz the corner. Okay, the slot corner on the right side. All right, and then I'll man up him to the outside guy. See, even I wasn't that perfect at it. Okay, and then, right, come over here, touch the lineman, come up, boom. I mean, you got to be fast with it. He's just going to have to be fast with it. So that's the first play, man. There's so much you can do out of that. But that's what DEZ does as well. Is he doesn't really use his zone drops. He just comes in here, you know, and he'll just adjust out of this. You know, here's a great play. This is like a cover 2, you know, shells. A cover 3 cloud kind of is what it looks like at $1. And I did that all by just using triangle, triangle. You click on your guy and, you know, having a safety right here. You know what I mean? You can have him in a mid read. You can have, you know, run something like this. So you can do everything out of DB Fire. That's what's cool about it, because these guys are both in soft squats, right? So maybe I want the other side now. So maybe I want to cover 3 cloud to the other side. So it just kind of depends, you know. You can do all sorts of stuff. You know, you can do something, you know, play extra coverage. You know what I mean? You can have something like, right? I mean, I'm just kind of messing around here, but you get the point. Is you can do so much out of this. You know, if I wanted to do, you know, cover 4, I can make this a cover 4. All right, so you can, and this is any coverage. This is not just DB Fire, but the reason DB Fire is so good is because of the stock. Everything is stock. It's just a great play stock, and then you can adjust out of that. You know, you can have a deep blue. All right, you know what I mean? Right? So you can do a whole bunch of stuff out of that, but that's DB Fire too. Like I said, that blitz is just going to scream. All right, so now let's talk zone drops. So for you guys who, you know, are not the fastest at zone drops, my recommendation would be 20 or 25 on flats. Okay, 25 is always a safe bet. There's nothing wrong with 20s. With 25 on flats. Okay, I'm okay with taking the risk, so I usually go, you know, 20, 5, and 5. Okay, so I'll usually do like 25 and 5, or I'll do like 20, 25, 15, and 5 if I want to play a little bit more coverage. Okay, out of DB Fire 2. So what that's going to do, all right, so this guy, right, this blue over here is going to drop 25 yards, all right, and then he's going to, you know, finish sprinting with the receiver, depending on what it is, okay? So, right, let's say there's a lot of corner routes or something like that, okay? So I have the 25 right here, all right? So I got a 25 right here, and then also I got a 15 right here, all right? So if there's a lot of corners, this 15 is probably going to be able to break on that ball. Okay, so I got the 15 right there. Okay, vert hooks, boom. Okay, he's going to drop right a little bit further back, so he'll probably stop right here. Okay, so instead of just kind of chilling right here and playing a vert hook, right, he's going to drop back, an extra 5, almost 10 yards. Okay, so that's how that's going to work. So let's say there's a lot of corner routes, there's a lot of stuff like that, then you're going to want those zone drops, all right? Cover 4. It's okay to have zone drops in cover 4. There's nothing wrong with having zone drops in cover 4. The problem with cover 3 and cover 4 is if you want to run match coverage, your zone drops have to be to 0. They have to be to, I'm sorry, not 0. You don't want them to 0. You want them at default. So in order for your match coverage to work, it has to be at default. So if you go, you know, match and you have everything at default, but you have a 5 right here, match coverage is not going to work. Okay, everything has to be the default whenever you run match. Okay, which is another tip that I was asking DEZ. Is I asked him, hey, do you run match coverage, and would you choose cover 3 match or cover 4 match? And he said he would choose cover 3 match. Okay, so if you're gonna run cover 3, if you're gonna run match coverage, I run cover 4 almost every play, but I feel comfortable in cover 4. So for those of you who really want a defense, you want a new defense to run, you could probably just start by running match cover 3, okay? So what's going to happen is the zones are going to play as man almost, okay? So they're going to match onto the nearest receiver. You know what I mean? So you could go into, it really doesn't matter. You know, any cover 3 is pretty good this year. You know, here's a cover 3 lock right here, okay? So let's say I'm running this is a pretty good play, okay? So let's say I'm running something like this, okay? So all I'm going to do is press, crash up, and run commit. I mean, so, run commit. Blitz my user, my bad. Pass commit. And then, right, so match coverage is just they're gonna match on. I mean, so if you want to stock play, you know, for all you new guys out there that are just not that great at Madden yet, you know, run in match coverage, you know, run in cover 3. He said he would choose cover 3 over cover 4. So just pick a cover 3. This is a perfect example right here. This is what a match coverage does, okay? So match coverage they play man coverage to the nearest receiver. That's how you could look at that. So boom, he's matching on to him, boom, and now there's a guy matching on over here. So it's a cover 3 zone, but he's manning up everybody who comes in his area, okay? This guy was in a purple. So boom, boom, right? So this is what match coverage does. And that's why, you know, match is so good. That's why cover 3 match is just absolutely amazing. Look at this guy coming into the area, boom, and then he mans up, right? He mans up to him, all right? Same thing on this side, you know what I mean? Right? Take a look at this slot guy right here, okay? He's manning up to this guy, all right? So there's just so much you can do out of this, okay? This strong safety was in a curl flat, and then boom, right? Now he's manned up to homeboy. So that's why match is so good, because especially for beginners, because all you have to do is you can run this, boom, right? You can run this kind of stock, right? And then you know, pass commit, and everybody's gonna match on. If you just want to run cover 3 by itself, okay, like I said, I would recommend cover 3 cloud show 2. Okay, so what I'll do right here is I'll have a 25, okay, and then I'll usually have like a 5 or a 15 on the flat. Okay, so it really just kind of depends. Even a 10 on curl flats, and then a 10 on hooks, or a 15 on hooks, depending on the situation. Like I said, I come out and cover 3 cloud show 2, especially whenever they come out in like 5 wide. Or something kind of split, you know, something spread out like this. It's just, it's a good play to run. So let's see, okay, what's a good 5 wide play? Let's see, how about this right here, this level switch? So I'll come out, right, cover 3 cloud show 2. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll base align, okay, I'll press, and I'll shade down, shade up, okay? So this is one of the things that you can run right here, okay? So to shade down, what does that mean? So when you shade down, let me get some water. I can mouth dry as fuck. So when so when you shade down, right, what's going to happen is this is shading up, okay? So let's see. Okay, hard flat. Take a look at the slot guy, right? It says hard flat, okay? I shade up. It says cloud flat, okay? So to shade, what does shading mean? What does that mean? When you shade, that means when you shade down, you're playing more aggressive, which means you can get beat over the top, okay? Vice versa. If you shade over the top, you can get beat down below. If you shade outside, you can get beat on the inside. If you shade on the inside, you can get beat. You get the gist, right? You can get beat on the outside. So to shade, you press Y, and then look at the right stick, okay? So look at the right stick, the right analog stick adjustments, okay? Shade outside, underneath, inside, over the top. Okay, that's there for a reason. All right, that's there for a reason. Now, you want to shade depending on your opponent's tendencies, okay? So for all you guys who play Madden, you got to pick up on their tendencies, okay? Are they throwing a lot of corner routes? Are they bombing you? Are you getting beat by streak routes after you press? Okay, so let's say you press and they keep, you know, Tyreek Hill for a touchdown every time. Then you want to shade over the top. So you will hit right after you press or whatever, pass commit, you'll press you'll press Y or triangle, and you'll flick up on the right stick. Okay, they're going to shade over the top. Okay, let's say Tyreek Hill is on the left side. Okay, then you're going to want to do what we did earlier in the video, and you're going to want to back that receiver, that corner back up. Okay, so now you're shading over the top, and you backed up that cornerback. So now it's very unlikely you're going to get burned. Okay. So those are just, you know, some of the things that you can do. Like I said, ebooks are kind of hard because there's just so much that you got to learn. There's so much that it would take hours for me to explain. So I'm trying to do it as much as I can. This video hopefully is not too long for you guys. But anyways, that's what I'm going to do, okay? So I'm going to run this right here. I like to shade down because in this year's Madden, shading down is really effective, okay? So I'll probably bring those guys down in the box right here. Probably man up this guy. So I'll probably man up forward, right, with the slot receiver in case they want to streak, you know, streak route me or something like that. And then boom, I'll just kind of hover in the middle and I'll just play hella coverage, okay? So right? That's why I like those zone drops, okay? Now, the only problem, this is one of the problems, is you're not going to get much pressure, like I said, okay? So I would run this, with those zone drops I just showed you, I would run this play whenever there's, you know, let's say 30 seconds left and they have to drive down the field. All right, so let's say, right, there's 30 seconds left or whatever. They have, you know, one timeout. They're going to have to drive down the field. All right, and they're like right here or something. Then I would come out and cover 3, show 2. All right, I would press, pass commit, right? I would shade over the top, and I would probably shade outside. Okay, the reason I would shade outside is because obviously they want field position. And obviously they want to get outside. You know, they want to get out of bounds. So maybe I would turn this into like a hybrid. Okay, so I'd have man coverage over the board if I didn't want to use the zone drops. Okay, and then maybe next play, right, I'll move this guy over here, right, and then I could run something like this and I'll watch this guy by myself. So I could switch it up like this. Now, the reason I put the zone drops there is because I can make it a man coverage, I can make it zone, I can make it a hybrid, and I already have my zone drops set, so I don't have to call a timeout. So usually, you know, towards the last plays of the game, right, if you just kind of set your zone drops, it's going to help out a lot, and you won't give the opponent so much time by calling a timeout and then fixing your zone drops. So that's one of the little secret tips is, you know, if he needs to score, just have your zone drop set, and then you can just adjust out of that. Now, the only problem is you have to be really good with your adjustments, you know. So that's the only catch to it. But other than that, I mean, you'll be set. And then obviously, you know, you can QB contain, okay? So QB contain is R1, R1. Now, these are just basic plays that I'm just showing you, okay? Would I run this exact play? Probably not. But this is I'd have to see what my opponent's doing, you know? So, like I said, there's just so much to go over in dollar, okay? So let's move on and let's go back to DB Fire and let's run a shell defense, okay? So if we're gonna run DB Fire and we're gonna run a shell defense, how would you run a shell defense, okay? What I would do if I was gonna run a shell defense I would keep these at default. I would keep hooks at default, okay? And then I would probably just go 25 and 15, okay? So I'd keep it to base, have this off, and go 25, 15. You could even go 5 right here. That's fine. Either default or 5, depending on how aggressive you want to be. The reason I like 15, maybe even 30s, you know, but who knows? I think 10 on curl flats is not deep enough. I think 15 is key, and 25 on flats is key. Okay, and then you can have 5 on hooks. You'll come in here and you'll run a double Mabel. Okay, so what is a double Mabel? All right, and what is a shell defense? Okay, so when you run kind of a shell defense, it's going to look like this. All right, and then you can kind of just man up the running back. Okay, so a shell defense is you're just going to completely take away, right? You're going to take away all of the outsides and then the top as well. So, right, kind of like a shell, right? So this is that's the best way I can kind of explain a shell is to run something like this. Now, the issue is when you run a shell is you have the whole middle of the field. All right, you have everything, right? So what they could do is they could high-low read. Okay, so they could, you know, call a play that has a high-low read. So that means they could have a slant with a post. So now you have to pick and choose. And if they notice that you're in a shell, they can get you out of that by keep having a high-low read. Okay, vice versa. If somebody's running a shell defense on you and you recognize that their zone drops are so far back and they have a shell kind of looking defense, then what you do is you have a drag route with the slant with the post, okay? And the user is just going to have to pick and choose between two people every time, and that will help get them out of the shell. So one of the things you can do on defense is, like I said, I like to man up the running back sometimes because I don't want to worry about the running back, and I would rather user the inside or all this to myself. I would rather have that. Now, this is one of the things is I could man up. This is what I would do is if I saw something like this, I would probably man up that outside receiver and I would blitz this corner, okay? As well as what I would do is if I had time, I'd move this guy over, okay? Like I said, after you want to press, then you want to bring these guys down in the box. So I have the deep zone help on the strong safety. That receiver is just going to be bagged. He's going to be good. I'm blitzing this guy right here. If you have time, you can bring him in. But I'm going to be honest, blitzing from the stock position is actually really effective. I've tried this. I've tried to blitz over and over by trying to bring this guy in, and usually he gets picked up by that tackle. So I just prefer to just run it like this at the stock position, okay? Just have him at the stock position, and then you can come over here and you can, that's kind of like a hybrid, right? So maybe I'll run shell one play, and then I'll run a hybrid with the same defense, except it's manned up now, and I'm just giving him a different look, right? Just trying to make it real difficult on him, you know what I mean? And then just kind of go from there. Now, like I said, I dropped down. I should have shot up, okay? But nonetheless, it's just a great way to kind of switch up the defense. So, all right, so I'll do something like this, okay? So that's one of the things with those zone drops that I would run in that play. All right, so let's say you're playing Mr. Lamar Jackson, right? Let's say you're playing somebody, right, with the crazy scheme, and all he wants to do is just, he's dotting you up, but he's running at the same time if you have too much in coverage, okay? So what you can do is you can run this cover 3 sky, this cover 3 buzz spy, okay? And then you can either have it to match or you can fix your zone drops, okay? So one of the cool things that I'll do is I will shade down, shade up, okay? So what you'll do is you'll press, and then remember what we talked about earlier in the video, shade down, shade up, okay? And you'll do them both at once, okay? So I will, this is what it looks like stock. I got 2 curl flats out there, okay? 2 purple zones, okay? I will shade down, and then I'll shade back up. Boom, now they're in cloud flats, okay? And then also, the reason I like this play is because you already have a spy out there, so I don't have to adjust. So in real time, I already know mentally that there's a spy on the linebacker. So all I do is shade down, shade up. All right, I'll QB contain, and then I'll just run it like this. All right, so you can do something like this right here. Maybe I'll blitz that corner and always try to send pressure. I always try to send pressure in dollar. Like I said, you always want at least one cornerback blitzing, okay? So that's just, it's a way to play coverage and have a spy and have, it's a great stock play to shade down, shade up, boom, your defense is already set. So it's basically just makes it as easy as possible for you. And if they want to run out, probably going to get tackled. I want to show you that if I saw a formation like this, how would I blitz this formation, okay? There are a few ways you can blitz this formation, but one of the best ways is I will shift my linebackers, okay? So watch what I'm going to do here. This is crazy, is I will shift my linebackers to the left, okay? And then I will press. I'll click on this guy, I'll blitz him, and I'll QB contain, all right? This guy is going to completely scream off the edge, okay? Just because of the way that you shift, and then boom, I adjust him, I move him back. Dude's going to just scream off the edge and get some pressure in there. Now, he did get chop blocked, but it's good because I'm getting that pressure in there. All right, so let's try it again. Let's say there is no route let's say the I can't speak today. Let's say the running back is not blocking. Okay, the running back's on a route. That's when this play is going to come into effect. So boom, I shift my line or my linebackers. Okay, and then I'll press, right? Blitz this guy. QB contain, right? Make sure these guys are down in the box a little bit, and I'll just kind of hover over. Like I said, I'll kind of hover over. All right, right? He sends a running back out. You're just going to get a crazy amount of pressure every time. It's just going to be money, man. It's going to be money. It's a great way to add. It's a great way to add pressure to the QB. Okay. Another thing you can do is, let's say that you take mental notes. The tight end is going out every time. The running back is going out every time. Okay. What I will do is I will shift to the side of the running back and the tight end. Okay, and then I will blitz, right? QB contain, and then I'll do something like this, okay? And what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to free up that guy. Okay, so let's say the running back and the tight end. Usually in bunch they do this, so we'll run this against bunch too, and it's just absolutely insane. But that's what I'll do just to kind of try to free up somebody, okay? And look how fast that comes in. I mean, it's absolutely insane, man. It's crazy how fast that play comes in. So you can also run the same exact setup out of spinner too. So let's say, like I said, you want to blitz, come out and spinner. All right, now you're going to want to blitz to hopefully, which is the weak side, okay? So you're going to want to press. All right, shift your linebackers. All right, you're going to want to blitz this guy. QB contain, come over here. All right, now, if you have time, you definitely want to bring that guy in the box. You can put this guy in a blue, and then you can run something like this. This is great bunch defense. It may not look like it, but trust me, like no routes are going to be able to develop. Okay, and if you have time, if you get faster and faster, and you're able to shift that linebacker over, boom, you call hike. I mean, dudes are just going to scream, and you're going to get there so fast. I mean, dollar is just the blitzing at $1. It's those slot corners that just make it so money. But let's move on to cover 4. Then you could just run cover 4 stock. Okay, you could shade down, shade up. All right, so you could run, right? You could press, shade down, shade up. Okay, that's going to get you cloud flats. Shade down, shade up, and then put. Let's say you have a purple to 15. All right, then you can do that. Let's say you have a blue to 5. Then you could shade down, shade up, leave him in the cloud flat, readjust that other corner. That other corner is going to be strong side, okay? Strong side. You want to readjust the purple to strong side, okay? So let's say they flip it, okay? You're going to want to readjust, okay? So you're going to want to have Ford in a cloud flat now, have him at 5, readjust that corner on the other side. So you want to have strong side corner to 15, all right? Now in cover 4, these guys right here, okay? A deep post will dominate cover 4, okay? A deep post will get over the top. Now, not really as much this year's Madden, right? Usually the pressure gets in there, but just to be safe, all right? To be safe, then you need to have somebody in a third, okay? So you have somebody in the third. It's like you're playing a hybrid almost, okay? So you're playing a different version of cover 4. I mean, this is great defense, okay? If you want to play more coverage, you have hook curl, you back him up a little bit, all right? Maybe you switch these guys right here, all right? So maybe to help with the streak routes, right, you have Douglas right here in a vert hook, and then he will take the outside corner, okay? You can do that. I mean, it really just depends, but that's a great thing to do. You can also, play a lot of man coverage out of it too. So, or like, kind of like a hybrid. I usually run like a hybrid every time. Like, I'm never really running like straight zone coverage every time. Like I'll run zone and then I'll man up people out of it. Just like how DEZ does, right? Same thing. All right. Maybe I'll do something like this. Okay. So maybe everything strong side will be bagged. Now, all this shit right here is going to be open. So if I see a receiver crossing, I got to take that receiver. Okay. So let's say, right? Let's see, I see someone crossing. I got to jump up here and I got to take that, okay? You got to be smart with, if you're going to adjust if you're going to make adjustments out of your defense, you have to know where the weak spots are, okay? Otherwise, what's the point of adjusting, okay? What are you going to cover? Your user is the most important thing on defense. What are you going to cover, okay? So you do something like that, all right? Maybe all you do is you just man up the tight end. You're going to take the running back, and then you just run this right here. If you have time, bring this guy in a little bit. Like I said, that's going to help with the streak routes, right? And then you could just run this. So you got the help in the third, okay? You got all the post routes right here, okay? This is going to be good right here, okay? You got him right here. Now, what's the weak spot over here? Okay, the weak spot is going to be right here, okay? So if there's a drag route, I need to pick up drag routes, okay? Let's say he has a tight end or R1 on a drag or something like that, okay? I got to take that, okay? And then you just adjust at that. So those are the weak spots, okay? So you always got to think about what are the weak spots. But this is a great defense to run right here.